After Marco Silva was sacked by the Everton board following a disappointing start to the season, Carlo Ancelotti has now emerged as the bookies' favourite to become the next Toffees manager. The Italian is often described as a serial winner, with so many honours and accolades to his name. He's won the Champions League 3 times, twice with Milan and 1 with Real Madrid, and he's also won the Premier League and the FA Cup with Chelsea as well. However, some Everton fans are concerned that the game has begun to pass him by in recent years, and his old school tactics simply won't cut it in the English top flight this time around. So today, we simulate a season with Carlo in charge at Goodison Park and see if his preferred 4-4-2 and some of his former signings can guide Everton into Europe. Go back about 20 days ago, could anyone have really predicted Carlo Ancelotti was going to take over at Everton for the foreseeable future? It's a bizarre timeline, but either way, Ancelotti at Everton, I could see this being a good fit. I think this could be a surprising match made in heaven. Everton's budget in the game, about £48 million, with wage budget alteration though, it's more likely to be around £55 million, so lots of money to play with here. Now obviously Carlo has adopted lots of different tactical systems over the years. He had that Christmas tree formation with Milan back in the noughties, we've seen him play 4-3-3, but of course at Napoli, after Sarri Ball, he preferred to go with a 4-4-2 system, so I think here at Everton we should do the same, operate in a 4-4-2, and hopefully that old school formation and old school style of tactics will be good this time around. As for the objectives in the first season of Ancelotti, finished in a Europa League spot and reached a round of 16 in the FA Cup, so certainly not easy, needing to qualify for the Europa League and reaching the last 16 in the FA Cup, but definitely doable. We will need to make some new signings though, and look at the list I've got here of former Carlo Ancelotti signings. At one point or another, he signed one of these players to one of the teams he's been managing. Lucas Moura, Serge Gnabry, Kingsley Coman, Dani Carvajal, Nicolas Saul, James Rodriguez, he signed twice with Real Madrid and Bayern, Gareth Bale, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Thiago Silva and Marco Verratti as well. The star power here is crazy. Question is, who's the best fit for Everton? I mean, there is so much talk that it could be Zlatan Ibrahimovic coming back to the Premier League for a second time after his stint at Old Trafford. And the only way Ibra will sign for Everton is if Carlo is there as well. But there's been so much talk in the recent days that Carlo is going to sign Zlatan for Everton. Oh man, can you imagine that? I can see it happening. Come on Zlatan, come to Goodison. We know he's going to leave LA Galaxy, but the question is, where's he going to go? A lot of talk he'll be going back to Milan at the San Siro, some suggesting he might retire altogether, but I say Everton, let's bring him here. Hopefully we'll be able to get him for around valuation, 10 million. Put a sell-on clause in as well, see what they say to that. Sadly not, they want 12.4 mil, but that would still be an absolute bargain for Zlatan. I know he's in his late 30s, but he could still do a job. I definitely think he could still do a job here. I still think he'd be a reliable source of goals. 11.5 mil LA Galaxy, 11.5 mil. Let's bring the Swede here. 4 weeks ago, just 4 weeks ago, could you have imagined Carlo Ancelotti and Zlatan Ibrahimovic at Goodison Park? The fact this is now a realistic scenario is just mind-blowing. I love it though, I really do. Great ambition from the Toffees, and he wants 50 grand a week, which is still pretty dirt cheap for the mid to late 30-year-old. And even at his ripe old age, I am convinced this guy would be a really great player for Everton. Come on Zlatan, sign that thing. There we go. Ibrahimovic is in with Carlo Ancelotti. What a signing. A marquee moment for Everton Football Club, no doubt about it. Carlo Ancelotti taking charge. First signing, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Unbelievable. His key stats as well. He's still got it. I love Zlatan, man. One of those sort of players that has so much flair, gets bums off seats, such a great character. And again, a clinical finisher on his day. Unstoppable. And because the transfer fee was so cheap as well, I think it was 11.5 mil, I think we paid for Zlatan. Yeah, we still got tons of money remaining, so plenty more cash in the bank to make some more signings. I'm going to add Florenzi to our shortlist as well, because whilst Alessandro is not a former Ancelotti signing, he is heavily linked right now with a January move to Goodison Park. So Florenzi, not a former Ancelotti player, but heavily rumoured he'll be coming to Everton in January. Right, let's sell some players before we sign some more. Cuco Martina, first man out the door hopefully. RB Salzburg to put in a bid, yep, totally fine with him going there. Or another one, this time from the Belgian side, Ancelotti. Once again, I'll accept that straight away. What a bit for the Niasse too, Sporting, 3 mil. I don't know whether Carlo will want to work with these players, really. I can see him trying to get the best out of them, but I think personally prefer a big change, so let's accept it and let him go to Portugal. Ugh, transfer talks have broken down with Martina and Salzburg. I swear every time I tried to sell him in my Who to Sign For episode, he rejected every single contract offer. But there is a bid here for Seamus Coleman, captain. Manchester United want to take him to Old Trafford. That would be a very interesting signing. Let's see how much we can get out of Ollie. I wouldn't be against letting Coleman go, but I want around 12 to 13 million for him. Even at 30, he's still worth that. Well, Manchester United disagree. 10.1 mil. Come on, lads. He's worth more than 10.1 mil. Let's go 12.5 mil. See what they say to that. 12.5 mil for Seamus Coleman is accepted. There we go. 12.5 mil for the captain. I'm okay letting him go. I don't mind that sale. Let's advance a few more days in the calendar as, Niasse's transfer talks are broken down, but Seamus Coleman's have gone through. So Niasse is staying, but as you see in the top right there, Seamus Coleman is the new man in Old Trafford. Very interesting sale. That now bumps our budget up to around 53 to 54 million pounds. Coleman gone, Niasse stays. Farewell, skipper. Obviously, if Florenzi does sign for Everton, he won't be satisfied with a bench role. So, it might sound ruthless, but I could see Carlo selling the skipper. Now let's bring Alessandro in. He's such a great player, Florenzi. He's a really good athlete too when going forward and when at the back. He's competent, he's strong, he's quick, he's agile, high stamina as well. Good workhorse too. I think he'd be the perfect fit to replace Seamus Coleman. So, let's see if we can get him and give Roma Martina as well. Because otherwise, Martina won't go. Well, they're okay taking Martina off our hands, but we also need to spend 22.3 mil. That's a lot. Let's get that transfer fee down, shall we? Around 16 mil for Florenzi plus Cuco Martina as well. Let's see what Roma say this time. Nope, they want 22.4 mil. Isn't that more than they just asked for? Right, sod that, I'm not paying that. 20% sell-on clause, and let's go 19 million pounds plus Martina as well. That's a lot of money for Alessandro, but otherwise we won't get Martina out the door, and I want to get rid of his salary on the books right now, and Roma do say yes to that. 19 mil, 20% sell-on clause, and Martina too. That's a lot of money. I really do think Florenzi would be the ideal fit to replace Coleman as well. You know, such a good athlete, very competent at the back and when going forward, and I think the Goodison Park faithful would really take to him as well. So Florenzi in, 66 grand a week. Is he going to say yes to that deal? Yes, he is indeed. 66 grand a week. He's not a former Ancelotti player, but he's a current one now. Florenzi, welcome. That was a lot of money though, wasn't it? 19 mil, plus a big sell-on clause, and Martina too. Well, I think he'd be an ideal fit, but he bloody well better be for that fee. Very nice stats on this guy though. 89 stamina being his best attribute. That is perfect for Everton. And of course, with no Seamus Coleman now, he will slide right into our first 11 with Sidibe coming off the bench. It'll be a shame to see Seamus go, but I think it's probably best for the long-term future. Florenzi in, and again, I really like this guy's stats. Still got some money left over as well, around 34 to 36 million remaining, so we're not totally spent just yet. Oh, what I'd do for Gareth Bale here under Ancelotti. Just a bit out of our price range though. Tell you one player we could get though, James Rodriguez, the Colombian. Because Ancelotti has signed him for 2 different clubs, so he clearly likes him. He signed for Real Madrid first, and then when he went to Bayern, he took him there to Germany on a loan as well, so he clearly likes him. Rodriguez going to Everton, finding a home here? Yeah, why not? Let's do it. We're going to need to negotiate a valuation deal for the Colombian with Zinedine though, otherwise we won't be able to afford him. Due to his high contract, it has to be a maximum of £35 million. If they ask for anything more than valuation, we won't be able to get him. So let's just see right here. 35 mil, James Rodriguez. Yes, get in. Zidane says yes. And wait, will we have enough for his salary? I'm not too sure, actually. Why on earth are we meeting in this fucking B-Tech hotel-style restaurant? Might as well take in a fucking Nando's. Right, so we've agreed 3 components in the contract. Crucial squad role, 4-year deal and no release clause 2. We can offer him a big sign-on bonus, but he'll have to take a wage cut to come here. 200 grand a week, 1 million sign-on bonus. That's all we can afford. We're spent after this. So if he says no, we won't be able to get him. James, will you take a pay cut to come here? Yes, he will! Rodriguez in, our 3rd signing. James Rodriguez, welcome to Everton Football Club. Oh my god, oh my god, we are spent. There is literally nothing left. It's all gone. Tell you what though, for James Rodriguez, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Florenzi as well, I don't think the Everton fans would mind that there's no money left over now. Does his little keepy uppies for the Goodison Park faithful. James Rodriguez is in. Ancelotti, clearly a big fan of the Colombian, signing him for 2 different teams, and Rodriguez is such a good player on his day as well. He's got the vision and the awareness to unlock a defence and get the assist, but also, as we know, this guy is a distance specialist. No one that saw it will ever forget his goal against Uruguay in the World Cup 5 years ago. You can play him down the wings, you can play him through the middle. He's such a good player, and I think he'd be a really good fit for Everton too. I think he'd find his home here. So if we are going to make new signings, we'll need to sell some players as well. Bid here for Frio Walcott. I really hope someone gets that reference there. We should be able to get around 10 to 13 mil for Walcott. I know he's 30 years old now, but we should be able to get a bit more than 7.1 mil. That's a bit of an insult, really. 12 mil for Theo Walcott, Monaco. What do you say to that deal? Yes? No? 8.1? Really? Really? Come on, he's worth more than that. Right, we don't want to sell on clause, that's pointless. But come on, 10 mil for Theo Walcott is still a pretty decent deal. Surely they'll accept that bid there. 2.5 mil valuation. Oh, wow, that's crazy. I think he's worth more than that, personally. Right, final negotiation, 9 3/4. If they say that's too much, then I'm going to walk out. There's no way I'm selling him for anything less than that. Okay, there we go. 9 3/4 mil for Walcott. I think that's a bit of an undersell, really. I think he's worth more than that. A bid here for Niasse, another one for our striker. Well, he rejected a move to Portugal. How about Spain? Ibar? Let's accept that bid there. Oh, and another bid as well. This time from Brighton. So a chance to stay in England for Niasse. £3 million from the Seagulls. Once again, I'll accept that bid. It is on the devaluation, yes, but 29 years old and Zlatan coming in, I don't think Carlo would have much use for Niasse now. Right, so we're coming towards the first game of the season. Oh my god, are you kidding me? A training injury? Iwobi broke his collarbone before he gets to make his first appearance for the club? That is just typical Everton luck, that is. That means we'll have to put Walcott on the bench for the time being. But oh shit, no, I just remember we're selling him. Oh, for God's sake. That is typical Everton luck. Iwobi goes down with a 2-month injury, and then I sell Walcott a couple days later. That's the end of Niasse as well. He's gone to Brighton for £3 million too. So after the sales of Walcott on Niasse for around, what, 12.75 mil, there is a bit of money now remaining in the budget, plus the season ticket sales as well. But 14 mil, I don't think that's enough. And with wage budget alteration as well, it's even less than that. I'm not sure we can sign anyone else now. The only player I was thinking was Thiago Silva. Of course, Ancelotti signed him for PSG, and the 87 rated 34-year-old would really help sort out the defensive problems here, but on his high salary, I don't think we can afford to sign him, sadly. He'll have to stay in France, which means that our final team is going to end up looking like this. In the end, it was kind of pointless selling Walcott on Niasse, wasn't it? But 3 new signings in, Ibrahimovic, Rodriguez, and Alessandro Florenzi as well. And I must say here, this 4-4-2, I really like it. I do. Rodriguez, of course, playing right mid and not through the middle. He's probably better suited to play down the spine of the team, but I think he could still do a job on the right-hand side. I think the team is better. I really like the look of it. Question is, though, can we succeed those on-the-pitch objectives? Finishing in the Europa League spot and reaching the last 16 in the FA Cup, that's a lot to ask for. There's only one way to find out, isn't there? Let's simulate to the end of the season, as we do, and see if Carlo Ancelotti and his 3 new signings and his 4-4-2 can take Everton back into Europe. Come on, Ancelotti. Come on, Everton. Come on, Zlatan, Florenzi and Rodriguez. We can do this. So we're about halfway through the season, and I see here Everton have made it into the Carabao Cup semi-finals against Manchester United, and I see there on the 29th of February, that I think is a Carabao Cup final. I don't think that's an FA Cup tie. I think it's a Carabao Cup final. So taking on the holders Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final. And yeah, that right there is an FA Cup tie against Arsenal in the round of 16. So Carlo Ancelotti taking the Toffees to a domestic cup final in the first season. Was it silverware though? So we're just about to play our final game of the season against Eddie Howe's Bournemouth here at Goodison. And we will stop the simulation directly afterwards and find out now whether this has been an amazing first season for Carlo in charge. Oh! 1 point! 1 point off 5th. Frank Lampard's side 1 point ahead of us in the table. Oh, that is so unlucky. 1 point and 4 goals of a guaranteed Europa League place finish. That is so unlucky for the Toffees, but 6th to be fair. should be good enough anyway. You see the bottom three there, Villa, Bournemouth, Sheffield United. Did we win the Carabao Cup though? Did we win the Carabao Cup? Oh, you are joking! Lost it on penalties. What a heartbreaking season for the Toffees. 1 point off 5th place and losing the Carabao Cup final on penalties. That is absolutely gutting that. And obviously would have been knocked out of the FA Cup by Arsenal in a round of 16. Haven't played the final there. You see it's between Liverpool and City. But because it is between Liverpool and City, just realise there, because it is between Liverpool and City, that means that 6th place would be good enough for the Europa League anyway. So whilst we did finish behind Chelsea, 6th would be good enough for European football next season. Wow. Just going to quickly simulate through to the middle of June once the European finals have been played, and once I've done that and checked the objective screen, we should see here that we have qualified for the Europa League. Because that, yeah, there we go, right there, qualified for the Europa League. So even though it wasn't a 5th place finish, and therefore technically, according to the board, we did fail to finish in the Europa League place in our domestic objective, we still qualified for Europe. So it still counts. Oh man, what a season for Everton. Our first domestic cup final in over a decade. And of course, qualifying for the Europa League too. Only losing the Carabao Cup on penalties, man. That was an amazing season. And Florenzi, what a season he had. 5 goals and 2 assists plus 9 clean sheets in 29 Premier League games. Amazing first year for Alessandro at right back. Certainly the great replacement for Seamus Coleman there. But what about Rodriguez and Zlatan? Well, here's James Rodriguez. Oh, brilliant from James. 11 goals and 5 assists in 28 Premier League games. Absolutely superb from the Colombian. 35 million to bring him in. That's a brilliant signing. Sadly, neither of them grew in ratings, but they are in their late 20s to be fair. And as for Zlatan, he went down by 2 ratings, but the stats are what's most important. 14 goals and a couple of assists in 36 Premier League games. Even at the wily old age of 38, Zlatan can teach these youngsters a thing or two. He might be going down in his stats, but 14 and 36, that's almost a goal every 2 games. What a season for the new signings. This Everton team has some good young talent, but clearly what's needed here is an old school manager and some senior players to help the youngsters settle in. Ibrahimovic, Rodriguez and Florenzi, all in their late 20s and their mid to late 30s in Zlatan's case. All 3 players really helping the youngsters settle in. I gotta say, man, we spent big on these 3 new signings, but this Everton team is so much better now. That is a brilliant first season from Carlo and the boys there. So what a turnaround it's been for Everton. Carlo Ancelotti hasn't just steadied the ship here at Goodison Park, he's taken it to broader horizons. Into the Europa League next season after a 6th place finish, so close to a trophy, but still a domestic cup final in his first season. And with Zlatan, Florenzi and James Rodriguez all signing for the Toffees, Everton fans can be sure they're in for an exciting and successful time with the Italian in charge. But will this happen in real life? Can the senior deliver these sort of scenes at Goodison Park? Let me know in the comment section down below if you think Ancelotti can turn things around for Everton Football Club. Thanks for watching this FIFA 20 simulation, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, as I upload FIFA 20 career mode videos every single day. And as always, much love to you all, and I'll see you for a new video on my channel very soon.